Okay. Yo. What's up, man? Wizard. Yo. Yo. Helen, how you doing? How you doing? Raggedy. Yo. There he is. Okay, dude, what's up, man? What's up? How you doing? VB, what's up? Dude, Godzilla, the things we're looking at today are going to be the Boolean stuff we were talking about. I'm going to kind of diving into all the kind of discoveries I made while I was exploring the workflow and all that jazz. Dude, nice. Sunday has been interesting. I woke up early as in like 6 in the morning. Worked on a little bit of the Audit 13 stuff. But dude, we're close now. There's like voiceover in the game. Objective text popping up on screen when you enter spaces, cameras tracking you in movement and all that jazz. Puzzles should be working now. After the stream, I need to record a playthrough of it, just so there's a visual snapshot that everyone can see the progress of, and then catch any other loose little issues that may be present. From there, I think it's just we need to make a playtest questionnaire, set up a server playtest, and then I would like to do it in the server in a way where you can people can watch people actually play that signed up. So it's kind of like watching like an internal playtest. Andrew, what's up, dude? And then they can do the survey, and then we can ask them further questions if we have other questions. And then it's just finishing art and fixing issues and solving like weird problems that we noticed in the playtest. Like, oh, they can't find this thing. Why is that? How do we solve that? Those things. But yeah, huge progress was made over this weekend when it comes to the gameplay side of things. Very excited. Kareem, dude, what's up, man? Okay. Balan. Okay, I'm gonna lower this music. I'm gonna find my own tunes. And of course, like usual, you can find your tunes. Figure out what you want to listen to. I think I'm gonna listen to maybe some like Resident Evil Requiem soundtrack. Makes the most sense, I think. Yeah, how have your guys' weekends been going? Your weekend time, has it been good? Dude, Finn with the 10 months, bro. Yo, it's Kojima. What's happening? It's your boy, Kojima. Nah. Okay. Let's dive in. I did scan things. So I cycled early in the morning, 6 o'clock, and walked around, scanned stuff, came back, walked the dog, scanned more stuff to just try and find some things that could work for what I wanted to demo. Because I was like, oh, I got to show this on stream. Because I don't think enough people are really trying out this process much, or at least publicly. Maybe there's a lot happening in the background that people aren't sharing and whatnot, But yeah, okay. Let's Gaussian splats? Nah. I'm not getting enough reliable detail from the Gaussian splats. Although the app that I am using does Gaussian splats. So maybe we can start with that. I can go here. So let's do this. Okay. Oh wow. I'm like, there we go. There we go. Mic test 1 2. So I'm using a Curie engine. It's the one I was testing out the most and seemed to give me the best results. There's quite a bit of features with it. You can use, if you have a LiDAR sensor with like the iPhone, you can be using a LiDAR sensor. The featureless object scan is using like AI side of things to try and clean up what it thinks you're scanning. So it tries to essentially remove noise where it thinks there shouldn't be noise. But for my use case, I was not using LiDAR because from what I'm doing with scanned meshes, LiDAR was too low resolution. Whereas with photo scanning, you can kind of just give it a video and then it'll send it to the server and then send back the mesh with the textures and whatnot. So I'm doing the photo scan approach, but I'm sending it high-res video from my phone after I've recorded it with my phone. So out on the field, if you want to say it like that, I'm just running around filming things from like as many angles as possible, giving it like a 1 to 3 minute video. I think the cap's like 3 minutes. But on average, I'm giving it about 1.5 minutes of footage, and then I just send it to it, and then it comes back in like, I would say, yeah, maybe about 2 minutes, I'll get the mesh back, which is freaking wild. It's wild. And if you pay, like, of course, you can decimate it down to certain resolutions. You can bake out all the textures. It can attempt to create PBR maps from what it has. The difference between LiDAR and the photo scan is basically LiDAR has a set resolution. If you ever play with LiDAR on your phone, you'll notice that when you scan a room, the resolution is quite locked. It's like physically locked. Whereas with the photo scans or video to photogrammetry, it's just extrapolating that data and then pumping out a high enough res mesh to interpret the detail. So it's a little bit more forgiving and higher fidelity. I'll show you the examples that I had here. So how to start? I think we can start with BB Godzilla or Baby Godzilla in chat. He has my monthly mentorship program that he works with, and he was asking about the workflow and process for like how you can deal with scanned geometry and how Indiana Jones was doing it, right? With their giant kits that they were using, because I think in a recent Gnomon video, right, they were showing off a process for that, and of course they're using ZBrush, because I think with ZBrush that's how you're going to be able to get the highest like frame rate while trying to do this stuff. So we'll start here and we'll look at these pieces. So this is actually just outside my apartment. It's just this branch thing. And the reason I was going after it is I just started walking around to look at the shape language of the broken areas. And this is from a video from my phone. This mesh came back to me in like, I think it was maybe like 2-3 minutes. And of course, it's not going to be like perfect, but it's capturing the details that I was interested in, like these crevices, the way that the wood is fracturing. And if I wonder if does it have it in here? Hang on. It doesn't look like it. You can like double click and move the camera around to like center on things. And you can see it's capturing all the lighting and whatnot. It's doing a pretty good job. I mean, look at this. Like that's kind of crazy. So you can do quite a bit with that. I actually don't know about the MetaHuman process. I'm assuming from what I've seen of MetaHuman, you can just scan your face you know, do like a pretty clean scan, and then it can replicate what it's trying, like what it's seeing to the best of its ability. But I think that's only going to get more accurate, right? But yeah, so we've got this scan here. Then we've got this other one. This one, the reason I liked this one was the crack here as well. What I'm looking for is a lot of this like fracturing and stuff, because I want to capture that type of detail when I'm using it for Booleans in the geometry. And you can see I wasn't focused on anything else. So there's like very little footage capturing the stuff in the background. Gets a little bit of it. And of course, I'm not looking back here. I'm just primarily focusing up here and just looking at this side of the geo. And there's some details where I'm like, I don't know if that would translate very well, like this stuff here or like this detail here for what I need it for. This is not going to work, I think, right? So we're looking at these scans. I think I have one more. This one's a rock one. Because what we're going to do this whole stream, so we're going to go through the process of looking at these scans, then we're going to bring them into Blender. I'm going to show you how to set it up in Blender. And of course, you can do the same thing with the Boolean tool in ZBrush and definitely have a higher performance. But for this demo, I'll just be going fast and just trying to show you as much as I can on this stuff. So this is like in a dog park. You can tell by the dog poopies around the rock. The reason I like this one is this silhouette chipping and breaking, but it's soft. So it's like it's been softened by weather and rain and all that jazz, right? So I wanted this. Yo, dude. How you doing, Jay? Yeah, so I wanted this rock. And of course it's trying to capture like the grass and some of the dirt and rocks and stuff like that. So we're gonna have to clean up this mesh a bit also. But yeah, so with that being said, I'll just bring that over here and let's get into my downloads files. And essentially in Curie, you can just go in and export. Like maybe I can show you that. 2 seconds here. We'll go to my profile. Oh yeah, here's another one I scanned, so you can see this one. So this one, the interest I had was in this stump. So I was just walking around it, taking video, right? And then sent it off. So you can see when I scanned it and all that stuff. So on the 16th. Dude, there was no one around. I was all by myself. This was like 6 in the morning. I'm surprised it was as bright out as it was. It was probably more like 6:30, 6:40. But in this view, like I can even do the shading and you can see just like the raw geo. It's not perfect. I'm sure with Reality Scan, you can get some really nice, smooth, like fine fidelity. Nice, let me turn these off. Some fine fidelity on like how it's grabbing all that detail. Reality Scan's probably going to give you a much nicer one. But this is like out of the box, you can just go, which is the thing I really like. What's up, Eden? Jamie, good to see you. No one saw, no need to be ashamed. Dude, I'm shameless when it comes to this stuff. I am shameless when it comes to this stuff. So the nice thing is that you can see I can hit export on the top right here. And I can actually just like, if you pay for Pro, you can generate a quad mesh from it. You can try to generate PBR maps. I haven't used that before. If it's a character, it can attempt to build a rig, which is kind of wild. And then when you hit download, it just dumps out the file. Now, the file format I'm using is a GLTF file for the most part. And what usually comes with that is you can get some really nice textures as well as UVs and all that jazz. So if I like bring this one over, we'll just import. So this is the rock, right? Does this one have the textures? Let's see. Yes, it does. Cool. So this is just dragged directly into Blender. Pretty cool. And I think resolution-wise, it's sitting at 8K was the texture. And it's funny because the texture is a JPEG, so I mean, there's some serious lossage going on there. But we're not after that. We just want this stuff, which is also not all that crazy. It's high, but it's not crazy. This is straight from my phone. So I'm just running around doing the scan with the phone and then uploading it to a server. The server's generating it and then sending me a link. Yeah, this is surprisingly non-dense. You could use this technically outside of the fact that there's like terrain on the outside that we don't really need, right? And you can see that the system is calculating like where it needs to drop off. I think with reality scan, you're going to get an even denser mesh. But for my practice and study of like how this would work, I'm like, I don't need it to be that detailed. If we delete this one and let me pull over the other one. So this one was a USD. So we'll work with this one just to kind of get you some idea of like this workflow I keep talking about. So we want to basically use this area, and you can see the geometry is pretty. It's not smooth. If we shade smooth, you get a little bit of a better. This scan actually turned out pretty good, and so we can use quite a bit of that, right? So what I'm going to do actually is start isolating this, and we can set it up so that it can work for us. So let's start by going into. We'll go into face mode, and I'll just do like a marquee select of this, and then we'll just deselect some of this, and I'll invert and delete these faces. Yeah, and then let's go back to this view, and maybe I don't need past this point, so maybe I'll just even get rid of that. So one thing you can do if you want to do some like really clean volume cuts. So let's first of all straighten this out, so it's a little bit more positionally friendly. And maybe we're gonna cut like here. Just move this into place. We'll just do something like that. Because the main thing we're after is this detail, right? So we'll skew this as well. So I'm not too worried about it. Let's go ahead and bring this in, and we'll go the other way around. Basically, if you want to have it, just make sure it's in the volume, right? And then we'll put a Boolean on this, and we'll do an intersect, and then we'll pick this object, and then if we then accept the Boolean and then delete this, you'll see we now have this piece, and the bottom's been capped and all that stuff. So it's like a good way to just contain everything. Lumo, what's up? How you doing? Najer, good to see you as well. Yo, and Stalabov, hello. Oh, Andrea, dude, been a little while. How you doing? Good to see you. Let's see here. So we've got this piece, right? And you want to be able to use it. I'm going to show you how I tried using it, and then we'll learn from this. So first of all, if I grab these details, let's pretend this is like a piece of wood, right? And then I'll just take these and I'll bevel it a ton just to get a nice like little edge there. And I think we'll shade smooth on this as well. What I was doing before was I was taking this, I was running a Boolean, and then I was doing a manifold Boolean for performance reasons, and then selecting this guy, and then rotating this into place, right? And you can see like, okay, if we do that, we start getting this weird shading issues. So if we select this, oh, actually, hang on, before I do this, I'm just gonna Make sure everything is reset on this thing so that we can reset its location after. So, okay, I'll put it down here. And you can see it's got some gnarly shading issues. So after the Boolean, we'll do like a weighted normals pass. And then if we hide this, I noticed I was like, okay, I need to hide this so I can see what I'm doing. But I still want to see this. So the workaround I got for this is if you select the mesh that you want to be seeing at all times, you can make it always render in front. This is a benefit that came in from, I think it was from, what do you call it? The guys who do the retopo tools that I rave about. The Polyflow, I believe, is the tool. They requested this and actually got it in with Blender's help, with the Blender Foundation, which allows you, if you go to the Object tab and go to Viewport Display, there's a checkbox here called In Front. And if you click In Front, this will always render in front of the object. So now you can do this and see what you're doing. Very, very handy for this type of thing. So I was like, okay, this is working pretty well. Let's put the cursor at the center of the object, and we'll just kind of at the center. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll just move it around. And I'm like, dude, okay, this is, if I hide this, now you can see like, this is kind of working. See, but I want to see the shape that I'm trying to cut as well. You could do bounding box also, where you can just like, you could tell it to just be wireframe. You can say display is just bounds, which then you have this. But if you want to see, to me, this is like the advanced version. If you want to see the shape that you're bringing in at the same time, I was like, dude, this is freaking powerful. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of getting us what we're looking for. But of course, the Boolean information that's happening is very, it's inverted, right? It doesn't really make sense why it would look like that. Some other things I was doing was like trying to find like a good length. So like you can see here, like that's pretty cool. But again, the shape language, the shapes that are happening from the Boolean don't really make sense to what you're expecting to see, right? So we need to invert these, and that's something that was also highlighted. Old G on this. That's something that was also highlighted by the guys over at Machine Games when they were looking at this. So I'm just going to move this to the side, and I'll just center the pivot on it, and then kill the Boolean on it for now. And we'll grab this shape. And there was also some details before we do this. There's some details that I didn't really want to have in the mesh for Booleans. And maybe it's like, maybe we can smooth that out or clean it up or whatnot. So we could do, this will affect the performance, but you could go in and smooth these areas out. Like you could do a Dynamesh on it, which makes it a little higher res, and then you can sculpt away some of the information, like these shapes here. I'm just going to leave it so we can keep our performance. If you're in ZBrush, you won't notice the performance at all. It's very nice. It's nice and smooth. Cool. Okay. Let's make the cube. And I'm just going to like bring this in. And the reason for this cube is to give us the negative of this, right? So I'm going to just bring it up even further. And then I'm going to take this and do a Boolean and point at this piece. And if I hide that, you can see we now have this negative, right? We probably don't need to have too much excess. So bring those in. Right? And then we'll just accept that Boolean, and then we can hide this in our backup assets for now. So now we've got this inverted scan, essentially. So now we can turn the Boolean back on the plank, and then click here, and we should be able to do the same thing we were doing, but now it's going to be inverted. Now the part that I was noticing, Next, when I was trying out this process, so you can see, like if we go into X-ray view, we can see like, okay, the piece of wood actually needs to be big enough to encompass this space, right? Then we can drag this over and we can start bringing in the end of the tree. So now you can, dude, now you can see the power starting to peek its head. So we can move this around and get the look we're wanting. But of course, you start to see like you get this problem. You get this problem where the edge of the bounding box or the edge of the tree ends, right? So then you get this. And there's not really a way around that because of the way we're using the Boolean. The other thing is the length. Like if this board ends up being really, really long, how do you solve that, right? So there are some, it is probably quite important to realize like this scan is just sculpting information, right? So as long as the scale doesn't get too weird, you can do some scaling up of the scan, and then you can position it where you're looking for the detail, which is why a higher res scan is going to be better, right? Also remember that you can rotate this. Let's see if we can rotate correctly. Yeah, so we can rotate this around and find the language that we're looking for. But the other thing is if the wood plank is actually really long and say you want the scan to stay pretty small, dude, look at that. That's looking pretty good. If you want that to stay pretty nice, you can do like a soft select, right? We turn our soft selection on and drag this out, scroll this way up, and then just slightly stretch the scan a bit. And that would allow for you to do a much larger Boolean approach. Of course, in ZBrush, dude, you can just stack these on like crazy. And performance-wise, you're not really going to be getting hit too hard. So this is how there was a video on YouTube like 7 years ago of a guy demoing it with Cliffs and Machine Games for the like if you watch the Nomen video, they interviewed Machine Games and they talked about this Boolean workflow because essentially you can get pretty far initially, right? And then you can go in and then turn this into a sculpt and just sculpt a little bit to support like what you're trying to do. Like, of course, this is really low res. There's those details you can see with the scan, the resolution that it's at. Like, of course, that'll look better if my scan is higher density. But afterwards, you just accept the Boolean and then go back and just start tweaking things, right? So that's kind of the gist of this this process I was investigating over the weekend, just to see how you do it. And like you can see, you can even use it to like get a little bit nicer beveling going on here, which kind of leads into the next stuff with like rocks and whatnot. But yeah, okay, so let's delete that. We'll take this, we'll bring it back out here, and I'll just I'll take these and group them into a new collection. So we'll add to new collection tree stump. So we'll create that one, and then we'll go back. Oh, nice. I'm like instancing it. Hang on here. Maybe I can just put it in backup, and then we can rename this. Cool. Okay. Quite interesting process. You can make the cutter just show as a... Oh, okay. Yes. Do you guys have any questions before we go to the rock one? I guess there's the... If we go back to this one, some of the stuff you could do to improve this. we got time on the stream because this is all I wanted to talk about was this stuff. So maybe we can do that. So what I'll show you is, so if we see the wireframe here, I don't know if you can see it very well. I'm just gonna press R and we're gonna increase the resolution of this. And we'll see what we can get out of it. There we go. Yeah. So this is definitely higher res as far as geometry goes. And you can see we're getting some pretty gnarly noise now. So you can go in and smooth a lot of this out if you want. There's some other tools you can use as well. Like if we do mesh filter, and then I think you can do like surface smooth, where it tries to preserve the volume, but still smooth the surface. Shape preservation. And you're just kind of clicking and dragging while you do this. And it's trying to smooth out the surface. Where can I find scans like these? Honestly, a lot of the times you have to buy them. I mean, textures.com sells them as well. On the Fab Marketplace, there's some. But it's kind of monetized to the max out there. It's not easy to find it for free. But there are some. It's more about like knowing what you need and then getting it that way. You know what I mean? So if we, dude, look at this. Like, what's going on here? Some like gnarly scan madness. So I'm gonna clear the custom normals on this, and I'm gonna go into sculpting, and I'm gonna just like, can I just smooth that out, please? Let's scale these up as well. And I'll just see if I can like flatten this stuff out. So these are the details that maybe you don't want, right? So you're like, okay, I need to find some ways to naturally just get rid of them so they don't look so strange. And you can also like, this is all just sculpting at the end of the day. So if you see a detail that you're like really want to make sure gets emphasized, you can push that, right? So I'm just gonna try and clean up some of this so it's not so noisy. And then there's this one. Maybe I can smooth that and then push this down. Because maybe we don't need that info. It's going to be extra noise for the sake of it. There's some other weird stuff here. This could be a good knot if you're like trying to build some knots. Oop, Mono's barking. But yeah, I'm just going to smooth out some of these details that I'm not too interested in. And then you can go in and emphasize as well. So if let me find the right brush for this. Yeah. We'll lower the strength here. You can go in and like really make sure that some of these lines get pushed. Stroke, let's do a stabilization so we can smooth it out a little bit because I'm using a freaking mouse. Yeah, so if you wanted to just make sure some like cleaner lines get popped through, we can do that. The other thing is maybe I can build a small set of these meshes and just put them on my Patreon so that you have something that's at least approachably cheap instead of huge like libraries that are being charged like crazy for. But yeah, so this is kind of how I'd go about cleaning this up. This noise, of course, is not really the best stuff to be having to sit here cleaning up. And I assume if you're using a better scanning process, you're not going to get much of this noise, right? So something to keep in mind. Yeah, so after this is all said and done and I'm like, okay, this looks good to me, then I can just go back and start doing the thing again. The process of generating the cube for it. And then just making sure that that looks, oh, I'm like, what's going on here? There we go. Make sure that's encompassing. And then do run your Boolean. Select this bad boy, and then just point to it. You can see it's going to be a little chunkier. Yeah, texture.com is super expensive. Let's accept that. I guess it's because it's exact as well. But if I hide this, now we have a higher res version, right? We're not more data, but we're not working with more data. It's just the low res, but higher poly counts on it. And then you could just run your Booleans again on that, right? So you could just, we can take the example we were doing before. You can bring this down, and then Boolean, manifold, we'll select this one. And remember, this is higher poly, so this is gonna be spicy. In what I was saying earlier is this won't be nearly as intense if you're in ZBrush. But if we grab this one, and we'll just make sure this is rendering in front. We could also, if we wanted to, we could maybe go to a bounding box with this, and that might help us a little bit with the frame rate. But I don't think it will. Let's see here. Solid. But yeah, scaling this up usually helps a lot when it comes to, like, I found exaggerating the scan a little bit is what led to some better results. But yeah, this is how I would be going about this. Of course, it's probably a little Scan Factory and Scans Library. Those are pretty good. If you can, someone in chat just like build a list of the places and message it to me, because I can build a resource page for us with that stuff. Yeah. Anyways, so I'll just dump out of that so that we can keep moving. But yeah, I'm like really happy with this process. It's been really fun to just like figure out how this would work. And you can see if we scale this up, it becomes a much broader pass that can be happening. So you can do like a little bit of a scan like this. We can rotate it and then try a different angle. Scale it up even more. Because at the end of the day, I mean, we're just looking for interesting shapes, right? And if you wanted to be sculpting this stuff, this might be a way to get 80% there faster, right? Like, look at that. Because then from this, you could Dynamesh this and then continue sculpting. The nice part is if the mesh is high res enough, you'll get all of the grain. Yeah, introducing some chaos so things feel much less like authored in that way. But yeah, what I would say, Earl, on the topic of like where can you find this stuff, what I've noticed from the ones that I've found so far is they're almost what I need, but not quite. And like the resolution of the ones from like Megascans can be lower res and come with a lot of like extra baggage of rights and stuff like that, and like when you can use it and how you're allowed to use it. You'd be surprised what you can get if you just go find some damaged wood pieces out in the forest somewhere, or like find a construction yard and just scan some of that stuff. Like it's shockingly easy. And if you're really wanting to get into it, I think Reality Scans is free now as well, right? So you should be able to get some really high res quality out of them. I wonder if, let me just test something here really fast. And did you guys want me to test anything while we're looking at this one before I hop to the because I'm gonna look at the stone one as well. So we can clear the custom normals on this mesh, but we could shade flat and see what that does when it Booleans. Let me see if the Boolean solver, index based, exact float, union, weighted normals, keep sharp. There we go. So you could take this, and we could be doing a an auto smooth on this one, and like trying to keep it a little bit sharper. But you can see you start getting these weird keep sharp. If I do 0 on this, man, where the Boolean does happen, it doesn't sharpen, which is a bit funny. I wonder what that's about. I wonder, okay, so we do a Boolean, then we do weighted corner angle. No. Face and angle. We go face 100%, threshold, face influence. I guess if you put maybe a vertex group on this, maybe it'll apply the vertex groups and you can get a nice like separation between the two. But again, by scaling this, if I scale this down, it's just going to be a higher res. This is the part where I'm like, how do I need to figure out how to use this best. You know? But yeah, knowing what you want to use this for is going to help you a lot in the long run when it comes to like how you deal with this stuff. I mean, I guess the other thing we could do is you could take this. God, this sounds crazy. And do some things like this and create the new shape. You know? So we could do some stuff like this. I'll just, I'll dupe this one and hide it and then join these. And then we can go to sculpting. We can, well, you probably could just Boolean them together. Let me just split these. By loose parts. Come on, I believe. There we go. Was this the higher res one that we sculpted? Oh, it was. Okay, this explains way too much. Let's delete these. We have this one. This is the sculpted one. Do we lose the other one? We may have lost the other one. Okay, I'm bringing it back in. Because I think the idea would be, I'm just going to decimate this thing down. Give me a second here. Yeah, so by combining several of them, that is definitely a way to go about this. What does the thing look like now? Nice. 0.01. How about that? Can we go lower, please? That might be too low. A little behind in live, but love the tip for the in front for Booleans. Always use that for rigging, but never thought about using it for this. Yeah, dude, I think it's really powerful. Okay, so I just decimated this down. We're going messy. Let me just accept this and wait for it to chew through it. But what I would probably do is take these, dupe them around. And then bring some down. So you get these interesting shapes. And then maybe we can... Let me see if this will work. I'm scared. Boolean, we'll do manifold, select, union, accept, hide. I'm just going to Boolean all these on here. Union, Boolean, manifold, manifold, union, point to this one. All right, accept, accept. Cool. Okay, we have this piece. Should be solid. Looks okay. Famous last words. And maybe this will give us something we can work with. I'm just going to delete those. We'll delete this. I will make the cube. I guess I probably need to make sure it's all of them are encompassed in that, which means I'm cutting off quite a bit. But yeah, all this is just from like playing around with it over the weekend and just kind of discovering stuff as I go. Boolean, let's do manifold, select, difference. Let me hide this. Yes, cool. Okay. Accept, hide, and now we can take this, do the Boolean against this. And now we have some more shapes to play with. Gets kind of wild though. One thing I've noticed is like it's more useful when you have like a proper we have some proper bounds, if that makes sense, where like for example, because there's no specific shape to hold on to, this is eventually naturally just going to get a little weird. Like this is kind of interesting with the split there. And then of course we can take this whole back piece and we'll just drag this way back here. We'll make sure not to melt it too much. Yeah, quite an interesting workflow, I feel. It's been doing some cool stuff for exploration and like introducing the chaos, like you were saying earlier. Was it Jamie? But yeah, okay. Let's drag that up here, and we'll take these. We'll hide the backups. We'll go to the final. We'll just call this rock test. Anik, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. How have you been? Okay, we're going to bring in the other model, which is the... oh, no, this is the branch. We need the other one. The rock. Cool. Okay, so we have this rock, right? We don't need the texture, but I'll turn it on so you have a reminder. Look at this grass. This grass just exists because dogs pee on this rock. Simple as that. So let's extract this and see what we can do about it. Cool. Okay, so we'll go from the top view. The idea is to get a box that represents the volume of it, right? And then we also want to cap the bottom out. One thing I learned while playing with the scans and the shapes that you benefit the most from is when, like, so if we look at this from a side view, yeah, these are mine. I did them with my phone this morning and a few days ago. By like having this curve, it makes it so much easier because remember in the end the Boolean is going to be shaped like this, right? So the idea that Boolean is a curve allows for you to push objects into it a lot easier and get a more predictable result when it comes to like how the Boolean is. It's just easier to work with. I wonder if you could roughly flatten this out with a lattice to create a nice height alpha. You probably could, but at that point I would argue you should probably just scan a flatter surface. Like go out and find some cliff, like a flatter cliff surface, right? Or like exposed rock ground that you can walk around on and just scan that whole thing. Hey Andrea, have a good one. It's good to see you in chat. It's been a while. Talk later. Let me see if I'm just making sure I'm. Yeah, so for surface detail. I would actually suggest using, like if you're in ZBrush, you could use layers and find height maps of surfaces and displace off those height maps and then mask in where you want them to show up or mask out where you don't want them to be. You know what I mean? So Lumo, the nice thing about this is because we're only worried about the geometry, like we don't need the material, you can do this in a bright day as well. You just need to make sure that you can see the object clear enough for the photogrammetry to like do its work. But yeah, it's man, it's a interesting experience doing this stuff. So okay, so we have this piece. I'm gonna do a Boolean. We're gonna do exact because this is not closed, so it's not manifold. And we'll point to this and give it a second here, and then we'll hide that and just see what we got. Right, so we've got this going on. I think if I select this plane, or the scan rather, and just make sure that we clear the custom normal information, so that way we're not introducing a bunch of random normal noise. Generally, this looks pretty good. You could probably use this as is, from what I understand. Let's grab this and bring it down a little bit. Yeah, okay, cool. So if we now take this, we can accept the Boolean. And then if we unhide everything, we can take this piece and we can just put it here for like backup. And now we have this crazy thing, right? Let's bring it down here and we'll put the pivot at we'll put it at geocenter. Geometry to origin. Well, no, I want to geometry. I mean, if I could say bottom. Okay, we'll do bottom. That's fine. So I was like, I want the pivot to be. I'll just put it there. And we'll press Alt-G, and then I'll just make sure that all the transforms on it are cleared. So all rotation and scale. So we're like zeroed out. You could, if you wanted to, add like a Boolean of like the rock type if you wanted to make a library of these. I definitely got the dog poop. I think. Yeah, I think we got the dog poop. I think we're good. Cool. Okay, let's run another experiment. So if we take this object, right, and we're gonna just like, we're gonna bevel this quite a bit. We're going to shade smooth on it. We're also going to add a Boolean and then a weighted normal for afterwards and keep that sharp. Boolean's going to be manifold, like we were saying earlier. And then this piece, I'm going to just bring this up here, is going to be our Boolean. And this is when I was like, dude, this is freaking powerful. So remember, we do the Boolean, right? And if I hide it, you can see it happening here. But we need to make sure that this is rendered in front. So we just go to the Object tab again, and we just say in front, turn that on, and then you'll just see, even though this is in the way, if you still want to see the object itself, right? So now you can see we're moving this around, and if we Boolean, we're seeing the rock in all its glory. There's some poop right there, dog poop for sure. But yeah, so now that we have this, let's do some weird stuff here. So I'm just going to scale this up and just start rotating it and just pushing it into the object to just find some shapes. And you might have to go quite big in order to get away. This is where I'm like, you can see the roundness. If that roundness can be big enough, you won't ever pick up on the ground that's like popping in around it. But yeah, let me think here. If I just do G and R and S, I think I need to take the face that's on the top here and actually bring it up quite a bit. That way we continue to Boolean, maybe even like scale this outwards. This is me learning on the fly. Let's go. This will help, I think. Okay, so we scale this up. We'll just rotate this around, and then we'll just start pushing this in and see if we can't find some stuff. Dude, it's crazy though. Like, look at this. Like, I think if we make this big enough, we can chip all the corners off. Right? And then maybe it's like searching for the shapes. If we dupe this, then rotate it around, bring that one down here, we can do another Boolean. Right? I think I added an extra weight. And then we'll move this before the weighted manifold. We'll select this one. And then we can do something like this. And then if you're like, okay, that's kind of cool. Maybe it's too much on this side. We'll just bring that down. And then this is kind of okay. You could then do like, let's see here. You could take this, you could accept the Booleans. You could dupe it and then bring it above itself. Let me delete this one, and I'll just bring this one up here. And then maybe like, let me think here. Maybe you rotate this one, and we can take this and do another Boolean. Select this manifold. It's friggin' powerful, man. I'm like, what the hell? This is wild. And see, I'm trying to match it up to the language we have there. So maybe we can get get some of that working. And now you can see the ground a little bit, so we need to make sure we're not doing that. But yeah, dude, this stuff is quite exciting to me. Let's take this, and we'll accept this one, and we'll dupe this one up here, and then we'll really mess this one up. Let's see what we can do. Boolean, drag this up here, select manifold. Let's start down here. So this is the other crazy thing is like, we're not even looking at what you could do if you Boolean all the way around. So you could do these Booleans with the material on it in like, I mean, I guess you could do it in here as well, but you could do it in ZBrush with all the materials on it. Fuds, what's up? And then all these Booleans are happening and they're mapping the texture onto it. So in that case, if you do have some pretty good scanned information, and you're able to do this without, is this yeah, cool. You could do this on top and technically be texturing at the same time. Oh man, I might have blown something up. I think I'm doing a Boolean on top of the same location, and it's probably trying to figure out what the hell to do with that. But you can see we're almost sculpting with just with scan information, which is really, really powerful, I think. If I unhide this, maybe I can take this and push it a bit more inwards like this. I think I'm going to need to take this face and push it out. There we go. Cool. Cool. Wiggly, what's up? What is up? We're doing things. Just going to take this and bring it down. Maybe we can bring it across like this. Yeah, see if we do that though, and then we need to grab this face and push that up. Cool. Anywho, you can see where this is all, like where I'm going with all this stuff. Dude, this is really fun. We can grab this one. Let's accept the 2 Booleans on that. So now we have some pieces we can work with. And like maybe from there you can do like if we take these ones. Yeah, you can make some nice gibs from this for sure. For sure. So if we, let's res that one up a little bit. You can see it gets a little on the chunky side because it's quite low poly to begin with. Let's see what we can do with the stamping. Yeah, because this stamping, yeah, see, this is where I'm like, okay, you need higher res geo to begin with, because now we'll have to just smooth that in order to lose a lot of that angularness that was happening. Wonder if you can. Yeah, because now it's like you need higher poly scans to be really pulling this off. But dude, I'm like, this is kind of crazy. See, from this one we can take this, sculpt on this one, maybe turn this up. This one's a little better. Cool. Okay. We lower this down. And we can apply some of the noise information from a brush just to give us a little bit of a better base. And then, of course, we can go in and do our stuff we normally do. Stroke, cool. Okay, we'll hide this. But yeah, it's a pretty cool process. Frank, what's up, dude? We've just been looking at using scans to get sculpted stone pieces faster. Definitely watch the full stream of this to kind of get into this, because I walk through like the scanning process all the way to getting it in here, how to convert the scan geometry into like a Boolean mesh, and how that can work. But you can see, like, dude, I'm pretty happy with this, considering this is just a rock from a freaking dog park. From my phone. It's this piece here, Frank. So if we had like a higher res scan, dude, this would be, I'm like really digging that shape, the curve to it. I used my phone and Curie, I believe it's called Curie Engine. So yeah, if we convert this one, we can sculpt some of this stuff down. Let's see if we can't. Chip this up a bit, just to get us a little bit closer to like away from the look we were originally going with. Or like the OG mesh, if you want to say it like that. Cool. And then from there, we can just stone stamp to like try and get some of that language across. Some of it's going to look a little weird. Maybe I need to lower this. Hang on here. Yeah, because I think if I have the cavity on, we'll have a better visual on like what is happening. Anyway, yeah, cool. I'm getting some weird stuff down here. Stamps, man, they're scary sometimes. Let me read chat here. You've only ever used reality scan? I think if you used reality scan for this, you probably get a better scanning result. What I was doing here is basically just testing out a workflow and getting some pretty nice stuff out of it. I was like, oh, wow, okay. Yeah, that's actually... So the software I used was just Curie. It's just Curie Engine. You can see the... So these are just from like iPhone video, straight to the app on my phone. You can see the resolution doesn't hold up though, right? It gets low pretty fast. I'd be curious to see, like with reality scan, you could get some real nice high res scans. Probably introducing far less noise and like a higher fidelity. Dude, that's the other funny part. This scan, like, let me find, like this scan. I mean, all of these are like a 1 minute 4K video and then just upload to the cloud. And then 2 minutes later, I get a mesh. So for like simple basic stuff, I'm like super down to just go that route. Oh yeah, Frank, you gotta not sometimes, man. That's fine. It's okay to not. But yeah, it's a habit that's hard to break for sure. Mizuko, yo, what's up? But yeah, considering what we're getting out of this, I'm like real happy with it. I can download this project 43. Give me a second here. Project 43. Because I use the same app to scan my friend's yard, and then we blocked out and prototyped the deck he wanted to build to scale and to metric, and then we're able to figure out the amount of wood needed. And then he just, from there, got what he needed, and we called it good. It's kind of crazy. Okay. Downloaded. Give me a second here. New folder. Scan. Okay. Bringing in the branch. Nice. I just brought in the texture. Look at that texture. That's crazy. Okay, there it is. Yeah, dude, this is awesome. That's gnarly. Yeah, so then what we could do is like we were talking about, let's just process this one because why not? What I'd do is take first of all, I'd get the normal information off of it, and then we'll just pull this in, grab this top area here, and then just make sure that we encapsulate the object. Hide this. Just gonna straighten this out so it's something closer. Right, and then you can take this one, Boolean, and then we'll do like a intersect off of this, and then we can hide that. This will be the mesh capped and everything. We'll drop that. Then we'll put the cursor to the geo, recenter that, and now we have this mesh. I'm just realizing it as well. Hang on here. We can, before the Boolean does its thing, we can dupe this, delete the Boolean, and now we have this mesh as like the negative already. So now we can accept the Boolean, grab this mesh, bring these over here. Can take this, and now I guess I need to bring this up a little bit. And then Boolean, difference, manifold on this, accept, and now we have this. And then from this, we can start using it on other objects. I wonder, I hadn't tried this mesh yet, so I have no idea how this is going to look. Shade smooth. Let's just put it here. Boolean, difference, manifold. And then make sure this is rendering in front. Oh, right. And we're going to need weighted normal on this as well. We'll scale this up. Might not work all that well. I'm just going to keep scaling this to like see what shapes I can find. But you can see how we can just start. We can explore. We can find a way. Oh. We'll just reset rotation. Like that's quite interesting. Can we just dupe this and oh yeah, you can. Dude, cool. The other thing too is we're not really, the detail that we're really interested in is up here. So like we were saying earlier, we can just take this, maybe stretch all of this. And then get some longer teeth to it. If you want, you can just do so much skewing and stretching and stuff. Of course, at some point it's going to start to look wrong, right? What is that piece? Hang on here. Aha. Okay, this is like there's like a longer damaged piece to this. And just rotate this around to see if you can find some other. Oh, there's the knot. That. Oh, that's funny. Kind of interesting. Yeah, cool. Kind of crazy. You just accept all these. We have these pieces. Okay, what am I missing in chat here? You want to screen tile it and kind of get into drawing though. Try something different. So if you want to try and get into drawing, I would suggest doing it on paper. It's cheaper that way for sure. It sounds sarcastic, but it's like, I don't know. If you were gonna get a tablet of sorts, I would get an iPad. So you're getting it for other reasons than drawing, right? Flare out the open end. Oh yeah, no, that's a good idea. Wait a second here. Yeah, so you mean like take this side and scale that out. I mean, I guess you have to. Well, no, we could scale it out with a. Well. I think it still has to go out first. Unless, hang on. If I scale it on just that axis, it's not as bad. This piece of, this scan though, I feel like might be a weird one for doing this type of stuff. See, now I can make this smaller, I guess, because the back is flared out more. But you can see how, like, jaggedy that is. You get a little bit of... Yeah, I don't know. This specific scan, I feel like, doesn't really work the way you want it to. Like, that's kind of cool. We need to take this and... Whoa, there we went. That's cool. That's cool. I tried to Alt S the face, which basically moves it along the normal of the face. But if you do that with soft select, now we're moving every face along its normal, falling off from the selection in a gradient. Of course, that's going to kill it. Yikes. Yikers. Man, that's crazy. Play Doom? That's the... Oh, man. Dude, I need to get back into streaming. What was I streaming? Elden Ring. Every once in a while, someone comes in stream. Are you going to ever go back to Elden Ring? It's like, oh, yeah. Forgot about that. But yeah, so the big takeaways, I guess, are you can scan pretty easily with your phone. Even the free options are going to be pretty impressive. Curie Engine's the one I would look at. If you want higher fidelity, and you've got a little bit of money or time, you could probably use reality capture. I know that reality capture is free now. I think the reason I'm liking Curie Engine is I can just film with my phone around an object for like a minute or two, and then just send that video to the app, and then in 2 to 3 minutes I get the scan back, and then I can just download it directly. Oh, dude. I had no idea that the music was playing this whole time. You guys had music in the background, right? The browser music. Just like somehow unmuted that. How long has that been going? Because that'll totally wipe out. That's like copywritten. Last 5 minutes? Okay, not too bad. Man, that might destroy something. You thought it was on purpose? I don't know how that turned on. Anyways, cool. Was that what the Doom... Oh, I see nice background music. Okay, when did that... Yeah, cool. Okay, well, I might have to edit this video before it goes back on YouTube. Like, after YouTube, I'll have to kill it. It was building attention for for what came right after the Blender crash. That's great. Cool. Yeah, next time you hear music, just let me know. I don't know how I unmuted that. That's brutal. Dude, that sucks, man. That's actually going to cost me like, what is it? I'm going to have to like edit. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to have to do to deal with that. Yep. Okay. Because now, because I push everything to YouTube directly, I don't have to edit my videos anymore and upload and all that jazz. So we'll have to see. I assume the YouTube stream is still going. Yeah, it says it's streaming. Cool. Wow, there's 39 of you guys here. Do you guys have any questions about that stuff? With the photogrammetry and all that? Because I think that was all I really wanted to talk about this stream. I'm happy to chill here for another 30 minutes and chat with you guys, though. I don't know what you guys are... Do you guys have questions about anything? Oh, I will be out... What is that? So I'll be away from next weekend to the 9th. So I'll be gone for 2 weeks. So there will not be a stream for like 2 weeks. Just a heads up. Like so we have this stream. We'll have a stream on Thursday. And then after Thursday, there won't be a stream. Oh, there might be a stream on Sunday. It depends how I'm doing on packing and stuff. But yeah. Yes, I do have ArtStation. I should probably make a command for that. It's just my Dynasty artstation.com/dynasty. No questions yet. I'm working on getting an up-to-date prop into my portfolio. Like you asked, dude, nice. How about we talk about reference websites? I'm struggling on choosing a reference to make. Audit speedrun? Dude, that's a great idea. Hang on. That is a great idea. Let me... I'll record it too so I can just upload it. Two birds with one stone, you know what I'm saying? But I don't understand what you mean by talking about reference websites. You're struggling to choose a reference to make. So that I can't help you figure out what you want to make. You know what I mean? But yeah, Pinterest is decent with the filtering now. But I wouldn't... I'm trying to think of how you would even approach that stuff nowadays. Because it depends what you're looking for. You know what I mean? Like if you're going in just blind, Pinterest can be pretty good. Or like thinking about architecture and those types of things. Now you're thinking about actual spaces and places that exist. And then from there, you could be searching for that stuff. If you're looking for just props, yeah, things like eBay or auction websites or like antique websites, those are pretty good. Those are going to give you some good stuff. Come on, audit. Yeah, I was going to do this after the stream. But I think as long as I'll set it up to, let's see here. I'll set it up so I'm not in the shot. There we go. I'll still talk over it, but I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Okay. Man, this place is so gray. we need to work on the colors and stuff in here. Get some other elements in here so you know it's not just gray. Okay. Let's do this. We're probably going to need computer sound. Let's confirm the computer sound's going to work. Looks like it.
Employee 31612 was unable to complete the audit. Thank you for coming in, employee 31646.
Oh, right. So I'll mention some caveats as you hear things. So there's voiceover now, but the balance against the ambient background, the voiceover gets lost quite easily. So just something to think about or something to be aware of. There's a little hole in there still. There's one on the ground too.
Welcome to Site Aegis. All personnel must clock in at the reception desk at the start of their shift.
Gotta clock in, man. We need the little clock in animation still.
Clipboards are required while making audits inside the facility. Unused clipboards can be found in the designated break room area.
It's getting there.
All staff must maintain protocol and carry their level 1 keycard at all times. Misplaced keycards should be reported to the control room immediately.
The wall meeting the floor? I think it actually just meets the... It just goes under the wall. In the other room. What? Hang on. Look at... Is that what you're... Is that the problem you're talking about? This gap? This is basically like the wall insets. You can probably see it a little bit better here. With the gap there, you can really understand what's going on. So we just need to extend the floor. The first room. This room. Or you mean the garage? Futz, you've totally ruined this recording. I just realized this. The grunge there, it's just textures. Yeah, there's no decals right now. So this room needs a scale adjustment. Oh,
Protective
snap.
gear is mandatory while auditing and handling SCPs. To initiate the audit,
Oh my God.
please proceed to the control room for facility activation.
Dude, all the cameras. You got 3 cameras looking at me? Bro. 4? I see 4 cameras. This keycard's hard to see right now. And it's like, you have to push up against a chair to get to it. So you might think that you can't get to it.
Auditors are advised to collect relevant SCP files to assist their audit. Required SCP data can be found in Warehouse 1.
Dude, look at these. These are from you, Kareem in chat. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. We need to get a material and some geometry on this floor. We also need to do the prop on the ceiling. So many things still to do. Okay, if I... Hey, let's go.
Warehouse 1, known as the catalog, contains research and information on currently recorded SCPs.
How do I get to that file? Audit procedure? Oh, maybe I need to wait. I'm hoping that comes back. I wonder if it shows up when I'm down here. So there's that little pamphlet that you pick up. No, it does not. Welcome. No. No. Okay. So we need to find these boxes. Right now, it's very clear which boxes you can see. So you're like, okay, I have to collect this box. I have to, you're like, the idea is you have to move these shelves around to know which boxes to grab. And there is a map that tells you which shelf based off the symbol. Some of the shelves will have to be moved in order to grab them, which makes me realize that some of these shelves probably just need a backing so you can't see through them. But once you get all these, then we need the code for the door. Do those signs have the normals assigned to them? They do. But I mean, this is, we're in shadow right now, so you probably wouldn't even see that. Yeah, you can see the normals on those ones. But the normal, looks like it's the detail normal. They wouldn't have a normal anyways, in my opinion. They would just be printed. I don't know the freaking code to this thing because I need the... info. Pick up clipboard from break room. Equip protective gear. That is not getting checked off. Find code ledger. Should have been checked off. Collect research documents. I just collected all 3 of them. Explore the isolation chamber. Gain access to the catalog. Yeah, so those are a little bit out of order as well. So, I don't know the code to this. Does DEF CON know the code to this? I need to know. There's no way I'm gonna guess this. Oh, what? That's not secure at all. Hi. I'm gonna...
Maintain current momentum to avoid infraction of protocol.
I should play the lotto tonight. Yes. Okay, let's go over here. Frame rate. We need to go to warehouse 2 now. Oh, jeez. Ah, I got you. Interesting. That puzzle is really hard to see. And the logic of it, like we need to have, we need to be able to tell the story with the box, like this is placed on top of. I mean, I guess with the cards, which I don't think we have. Uh-oh, I got stuck. Oh, I can see the key cards here too. What is going on? Still need this texture. Map. The map needs to be updated for this, the warehouse. Good to know. Oh, right. Do you believe programming to be an art? This is so 3D art. What? I don't follow. And yes, programming is an art. The amount of expression you can do in programming is crazy. And art can only express because programming exists, right? Digital art, anyways. Interactive digital art is probably to be more precise. So I'm just realizing this. It's like, how would someone know to even interact with these? Dude, the space feels huge, but we've actually shrunk it as well. So I can't get behind this to know if this is straight or not. It almost feels like the base should have like a more of a point to it, or like the base should be more triangular. So then you know which way it's precisely facing. So basically the goal is all of these need to be pointing directly at the cube. Manu, what's up? Are the meshes for the large areas like this warehouses combined into one? I don't believe they are. I need to find a cube for this. Where's your cube? Dude, it's Madu. Is that it? I think I see it. No, I was wrong. No. It's right here. Yes. So the idea with this one is we need to bring Madu's favorite toy, which is that statue. You bring his toy, and then you're all good. There we go. Okay, sound stopped. That's good. Okay, so I did that one over there. I did the one with the scroll, which is the one with the glass box. The glass box has a scroll inside of it, and that dude has an ego. The whatever is the scroll has an ego, and he likes to be looked at. So you move all the statues to look at him, and he chills out. But now that I've done all those things, I feel like something should have happened, no? Like this is supposed to move out of the way, isn't it? Or is that after and I'm not remembering? Because that's supposed to be blocked as well. And then that opens up. And then we're in this maze thing. Let me see what's going on here. What's this button? Who's that guy? Oh. Oh. Dude. Magical. Pick up doctor code. There we go. We got the doctor's code. Let's go. We need to explain that doctor's code more, or better. Manu, after I complete this, we can look around in this warehouse. Hey, thanks for the follow. Let's go. So we're supposed to go back here. We go in here. We're supposed to go to the doctor's office, which we can't open. So we need this code, which I can't interact with. Why can't I interact with that? Interesting. Oh. Is it because I only have arms? Is that the problem? Okay. I can't interact with this. Cool. Well, I think that's the end of that story. Yeah, it's probably in the wall too closely. Yeah, because I was able to kind of get access to it a little bit. Okay, I'm going out. I'm going out. Hang on here. So if we turn the collision on. Yeah, it might just be that it needs to be further out. Yeah, because you can see the walls collision is here. And no, I mean, it's close enough that it might just be just behind the collision. That's probably what's going on. Cool. Okay, let's go and look at that warehouse really fast here. So all of this warehouse, structure, set dressing, warehouse 2. Yeah, so we have, these are all individual. And if we do C, you can see that there's collision on all of these. So it is quite a bit of collision. I think what we would probably do, like if you needed to simplify this, what we would probably do is make some collections of the boxes in specific formats and then just merge them all together. And the floor The floor is structure, warehouse 2. The floor is in chunks. The floor's in chunks right now. That way you can get these setups here. And then you guys didn't get to see down here when you open this door. And you go down this elevator. You had to merge the floor in your other project? Oh, interesting. I mean, I think it depends what you're shipping on, but like this could also be merged in like what is it called, the hierarchical setup with props. If the collision is an issue, like these could still be separate, but you could author like an individual single collision for the whole space. Yeah. But my assumption is that how we're doing it right now, because this has all been like us just mapping out stuff, like this would be not performant friendly. Like you need these all be combined in some way or another, or simplifying of the collision so it batches all of it together. One thing is all of our collision is simple collision. I don't believe any of it's complex. I don't know if that helps. Blocking volumes can also be a move, yeah. Especially without a gun, like you can do all types of sneaky stuff. Can I play from here? Oh my god, I can. Oh, hang on. I'll show you some stuff. We'll go out here. Play from here. And then, okay, we're in warehouse 2. Cool. We need all the keys.
1612 was unable to complete.
Oh man, all the sounds are gonna trigger.
Thank you for coming in.
Oh, buddy.
31646.
I'm gonna get the clipboard. We're going to get all the key cards. Left bracket. All key cards acquired. Okay. Is that non-key? What? I guess I can't cheat anymore. Dang. Okay. Well, that's that. Hello, crates. Yeah. Kareem in chat. Look at all these. Look at all your crates, man. No, there's a ton of props going on in here. Let me I can go here. Oh, that it will, Smith? Okay, maybe I can. Yeah, here's your crates. We need to prop with more of them now, because we have all the different shapes. It's pretty cool. Got little decals as well that we need to place on them again. Have all these. The signs, then all the things here. All them things. Cool. Let's go back to here. So this is like a group project with our community. It's taken much longer than we anticipated, but I think we're all learning from it, so I don't mind it taking longer. Hopefully no one's going to lose their mind or anything. Where are we at here? We can go here. Can I play from, there we go.
Employee 316.
I think you'd be surprised how many props are needed. There we go. Nice.
Employee 31646.
Performance may be affected when many non-nanite meshes are da 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 da. Okay, can I go down this? Boop. Is it gonna work? Hey. Oh, buddy. Neville, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Hope you're well, man. Oh yeah, I just got a new desk, dude. I gotta send you a screenshot. Yeah, you like these? This is... If I move with it, everything's fine. Dude, I'm digging this sound. It's kind of creepy. Oh, buddy. Okay, so we're supposed to get some voiceover. We go up here. We're supposed to activate a thing. Where is it at? Here we go. We activate this thing. And then we're supposed to go over here. There's some something wild going on over there. Activate this thing. So that first one you interact with will pop on these lights so you can illuminate the space. But this thing is like negative. It's like Vanta black. So it's a void. So everything will be illuminated around it except for the cube. Then you turn on the thing for the recording. And then you have to turn this on, which opens this door. And then you go inside and then you get trapped because you're the SCP. Oh, wow. Did I literally just kill the game by going in there? That's hilarious. Man, that's freaking funny. So the game just ends, so it just like kills it. That's so funny. Yeah, Unreal took it very literally. That's so good. But yeah, no, that's kind of where we're at. You're supposed to use the code on this thing, and you come in here. Then you got the doc's office where you get the intel and the last key card that allows you to go through that door that we went down. Then you move this thing to the side, which lets you back here. And then this lets you back into this space. So you just streamline you right back in. And then you need to find your way to this door. Then you go down, do all the things down here, and then wabamo, you're trapped. Yeah, we're moving we're moving pretty slow in Neville, but it's all good. I don't mind. As long as we're all learning stuff from it, you know. Playtester coming up, that's for sure. Boom. Hello. Hello. Okay, well, that was a very bumpy playthrough. I'll just have to let the guys know that you were so invested. I'll have to let the guys know that you still get stuck. So you get stuck at the key card here. And I don't get the textures that tell you, like I don't get the pamphlet, this thing. When I pick that up, I don't know how to view it. So then I don't know how this puzzle works. And we probably need to move the lighting so that you see the symbols, right? Because you're supposed to go, okay, you look at your clipboard, you see that, oh, I need to go to this this symbol, and then the object is supposed to be on circle with a circle, and then you would find it. And so we'll have a bunch of objects in here, which are basically a bunch of false positives. Yeah, cool. Maybe a mini map. So you do have a mini map, but it's just your clipboard. So if we go, where are we at here?
Employee 31642
So if I pull this up,
was unable to complete.
You can see I'm in the catalog.
Thank you for coming.
And if I go to warehouse,
31646.
You can see that I'm marked here, but if I go like, let's see, if I go back out here. No, come on, bro. We can go there. No, we can go here. There we go. Okay, I'm in control. So I'm in the control or access point. And if I press tab, oh, nice. Under the light, that's good. You can see that I'm near the offices over here. And if I rotate, you can see I'm even changing direction. But that normal, I guess we still need to lower the strength of that normal map, because in the right lighting conditions, that map is illegible. I'm like trying to get it to happen now. There we go. Still okay here. It's getting crazier. Yeah. So the version control we're using is Plastic SCM for this project. And then we're also having a bunch of people work in Git, and then we're pushing stuff over or transferring stuff over as we go. I hope that answers your question. And Google Drive as well for some files. I'm basically trying to cut corners on costs and stuff. Right now, this cost me like, I think it's like $17 a month for four licenses for Plastic. But yeah. Good times. Good times. Okay. I'm going to just switch to this one. Thanks for hanging out, guys. It's a bit all over the place there at the end. Man. From your experience, what's going on from your experience, Eden? Sounds convoluted. Using 3 different version controls. No, I mean, the source of truth is Plastic SCM. And then if you don't want to deal with source control, you just need to be submitting content to the Google Drive in the folders for props. So those are specifically for props and materials. And Git is for if you want to be propping. But anything that's happening in Git gets transferred over to Plastic. So the only people that have to worry about version control are the admins, which is 3 of us. So it's like Ben M, me, and yeah, DEFCON. Though DEFCON, I think, has been doing pretty good at avoiding it, other than he's doing a lot of the programming side of stuff. Yo, what's up? How you doing? Is that single? Is that single that I'm seeing there? Yeah, dude. What's up, man? Okay. I'm going to get out of here. You jumped at just the right time, single. But check the VOD. We did some interesting stuff with Booleans and photogrammetry to explore shapes. Yeah, you just got here. You got in for the tunes, man. All right. I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a good rest of your Sunday. And I'll see you guys, I'll see you guys on Thursday. We'll probably be working on the temple scene on Thursday. Got to get some camera angles set up. All right, guys. Catch you later. It's my cue with the music. Peace out, guys. Bye.